name is Danielle Reimers, and this is Ohio Gozaimasu, THK Manufacturing of America's series on Japanese language and culture. Last time, we learned how to tell time in Japanese in hours. Today, we will take this a step further by adding minutes, as well as adding a few verbs to say when we do certain actions. First, let's briefly review what was covered last time.
Please repeat after the native speaker to practice saying the hours on a clock. Just as before, there is kanji for these numbers, but it is also common to use Arabic numerals just like in English to say the time.
1時、2時、3時、4時、5時、6時、7時、8時、9時、10時、11時、12時。
How much did you remember? Well, we're not quite done yet. Today, we're going to learn how to tell time using minutes too. When we tell time in English, we don't need to specify what number is the hour and which number is the minute. But in Japanese, we need to say the unit for hours and the unit for minutes. In Japanese, the unit for hour is ji, as we learned last time. Minute or minutes in Japanese is hun. However, depending on what number this word is paired with, the pronunciation can change to pun. The numbers that change to pun are 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Let's go through that list all together.
Please repeat after the native speaker to practice saying the minutes 1 through 10.
1分、2分、3分、4分、5分、6分、7分、7分、8分、9分、10分、10分。
Remember that this rule about changing hun to pun applies every time that a number ends in that digit. So 1 minute past the hour, 11 minutes past the hour, 21, 31, 41, and 51 minutes past the hour all end in ippun. After 10, the numbers follow the same pattern as regular numbers. So let's put it all together and go through a couple examples together. 2:11 means 2 hours and 11 minutes. Hours are easy. Add a ji after the number for 2, which is ni. We end up with niji. 11 in Japanese is literally 10-1, 11. But because it ends in 1, we have to use the special pun pattern. Not 11 hun, but 11. Putting it all together, we get niji 11. 4:22 is 4 hours and 22 minutes. 4 o'clock is a bit of an exception. Instead of yonji, it's always yoji. 22 in Japanese is literally 2:10-2, 22. Adding hun to that to mean minutes gives us 22 hun. Putting it all together, we get yoji 22 hun. All minutes follow these patterns, with the exception of the half hour or 30 minutes. You can say 30 分 or just han, which means half. For example, 3:30 can be 3時30分 or 3時半.
Let's practice. Translate the time said from Japanese to English.
10時37分。 時58分。12時9分。
Now, translate the time from English to Japanese.
3時30分。3時半。11時11分。7時22分。
We also use time to describe when we do things. Let's learn a few verbs.
Please repeat after the native speaker to learn the verbs we are using in today's activities.
食べます。勉強します。起きます。寝ます。
Now that we know some verbs, how would we say when we study or sleep? For this, we need particle ni. Ni can be used in a variety of ways, but when it is used to say when an action takes place, it follows specific times and is translated as at. You can use the same word for what time from earlier to ask when someone does something too. Let's break this down. First, to ask when someone does something, you need your question word, nanji. This is calling for a specific time, so it is followed by particle ni. Then you can insert a verb, in this case, get up, and finally complete it with question particle ka. It will look something like this. Nanji ni okimasu ka?
何時に起きますか？
To answer, you can identify yourself as the topic or leave it out, and then follow the same pattern. You replace nanji with a specific time, and then follow with particle ni and your verb.
7時に起きます。
Let's practice asking and answering when events occur. In this exercise, we will ask, when do you get up? When do you sleep? When do you eat? And when do you study?
何時に起きますか？
6時20分に起きます。門沢さんは何時に寝ますか？
10時半に寝ます。何時に食べますか？
午後6時に食べます。門沢さんは何時に勉強しますか？
4時半に勉強します。
Numbers are super useful. So far, we have learned how to say what time it is in Japanese, when an event happens, and when we do things. As we mentioned last time, numbers have a variety of other uses too, whether it be ages, months, dates, or counting things. Join us next time for an introduction to hiragana and katakana, two of the writing systems in Japanese.
This is editor Alexis, just popping in to say a big thank you to all of you for joining us for today's episode. If you've enjoyed this series, please like and subscribe and continue to follow us for the next episode of Ohio Gozaimasu. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!